So, you know what I'm going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about long-term planning in a different sort of way. And it's something that my husband and I started doing when we bought this house. Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. My name is Michelle and I'm hosting 30 Days of Preparedness 2024 this year. We have 15 channels with all kinds of valuable information for you, so make sure to watch for the logo and the hashtag 30 Days of Preparedness 2024. I have a playlist that'll be down in my description, and if you leave a kind, original comment on everybody's videos, you will be entered for a random drawing that we will be holding on my channel October 1st. That's a Tuesday, October 1st. And I'll put the other details down in my description. You have a chance to win the grand prize, which is an Avid Armor USV 32 chamber vacuum starter bundle. I have that machine. I love that machine. And Avid Armor has been kind enough to sponsor this collaboration and offer the grand prize. If you don't have a chamber vacuum sealer, when you get one, you will never know what you did without it. Another prize that we're going to have is a signed book. It's the 100 Days to Preparedness by Leisa Sutton, and she is going to sign a hard copy, and that will be the second prize. The third prize is going to be a $100 Amazon gift certificate from Big Valley Living, and that's for you to get started on your own preparedness journey or to add to the preparedness that you've already started. Hang out with us, enjoy all the content, make sure to check out all of the channels, and consider subscribing to everybody that you haven't already subscribed to. You're going to love this month. Now today, I'm going to talk about how one of the tactics that my husband and I have employed to always have food on our property. So what we decided to do when we first moved here was to plant some trees. We had old trees that needed to be removed because they had aged out, and they were largely shade trees and decorative trees and things like that. When we took out a tree, we replaced a tree. But instead of replacing those trees with more shade trees, we decided that every tree that we planted would feed us. And it has worked beautifully, and we add to it every year. We now have a Granny Smith apple, a Pink Lady apple. We have, oh goodness, 2 Eureka lemon trees. We have 1 improved Meyer lemon tree. That's like the sweet one that you might use for lemon curd or, lemon meringue pie. We have a Bear's lime, which is a type of lime that you can buy in the store. We have 2 Awari Satsumas, which are mandarin oranges. They are so delicious. We also have a tangerine tree, which is, it's called a clementine. And we get a lot of citrus in the winter. So when we're not getting that vitamin D in the sunshine when it's raining, we're getting some nice vitamin C from our trees. And it is so gratifying to be able to go outside and pick an orange or pick a lemon in winter. It's because of where we live, and it is not lost on us. It is a true joy to be able to provide these things for ourselves and for our friends and family. We also have 2 orange trees. One is called Midnight Valencia, and then we also have a Cara Cara orange. And the Cara Cara orange my husband planted because it has the highest level of vitamin C for an orange tree that will grow in our area. So we try to plant things that will ripen throughout the year, but also provide us with the most nutrients that we can get. We preserve some of these things by canning and by dehydrating, freeze drying. We freeze dry the zest of our lemons, limes, and oranges so that we can add flavor and some nutritional value to soups and stews. You would be amazed at what sprinkling just a little bit of citrus zest on top of a salad will do. It perks up your spirit and it just perks up your taste buds. Well, those are not the only fruit trees we have. Now in the summertime, we have 3 stone fruit trees that we get to enjoy. We also have an Alberta peach tree. Just about the time that the apricots are winding down, then we have fresh peaches. And there's nothing like walking out and getting a fresh, warm peach on a hot summer day. It's so refreshing. As soon as the peaches are about finished, then we have Double Delight nectarines. And I absolutely love nectarines. This year, because we did not select and thin it, we had about 40 nectarines that were just about the size of a plum. But let me tell you, they were worth it. They were so good. Even though they were small, they were delicious. So we do try to grow these things that we don't need to go to a farmer's market for. If we need more, we can go there. It's much more gratifying to grow it than to go buy it at a grocery store. The farmers that supply the grocery stores need to pick early to make sure that the fruit transports and gets to the store. And at the store, it's not like walking up to a tree and just picking a very perfectly ripe piece of fruit. So if you have space, you don't have to have all these different trees, but if you have space for one or two at least, I encourage you to do that. You can grow some of these in pots if you have a patio, or if you have, a small area because you live in an apartment. Maybe you have a little area outside of your living room or something. I highly encourage you to do that. We also have a pomegranate tree. And that, as you know, is full of antioxidants. Now, that fruit comes just around the time that we get our Granny Smith apples and our Pink Lady apples. So we will take all of those fall fruits and turn those into wonderful things. You can make pomegranate juice and freeze that. If you have extra, just freeze it. We make pomegranate jelly. I have a video for that. And we peel everything and process it all right here. We have had that tree since we moved into this house because it came with us from another house that we had put it in a pot. We'll also take the apples and make freeze-dried or dehydrated apple rings. Those are just great snacks. And then, of course, apple pie and, apple butter. So it's really nice. And we know every fall that we're going to start doing that, right around October 1st. And then right about till Thanksgiving is when we process all of that. So we have really busy weekends. Besides those fruits on trees that we grow, we also have asparagus. We've had our asparagus patch, and it's only a 4x4 patch. It's just the two of us, but it provides plenty of asparagus for two people. And that is usually something that we harvest beginning in April, and we can harvest it up until about June. Once it gets hot, we just let and the stalks get really thick, we just let it go dormant, and it'll grow and just make the garden look really pretty because it has these fern-like fans blowing. It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And as you know, asparagus is expensive. Are you seeing a theme here? Grow the most expensive food that you enjoy to eat because you will save a lot of money and you'll get a lot of nutrition from it. We have blueberries. We have two different types of blueberries, and there are 6 plants, so we intertwine them. We have 3 Misty and 3 Jewels. And the reason that we grow those varieties is that they do well in our hot summers here. Now, we do plant them in a spot where they get really good shade when the very, very worst heat in the summertime is in the valley, because they can only take so much heat and sunshine at the same time. We have a 30-foot row of raspberries growing. We got those, they're red raspberries, and we got those from a neighbor. If you cut them just right, you can get 2 harvests from them a year. One from really this year from May until the beginning of July. That's a lot of raspberries. And I'm telling you, we get a cup every single day, if not 2 cups during the peak. We make jam, we freeze them. We want to make sorbet. I haven't done that yet. But anyway, those are an amazing resource, and they have antioxidant properties as well. We have thornless blackberries, but we put them in the wrong place, and gardening is a lifelong lesson. So we'll be buying some more canes of those in probably about 3 or 4 months, and we'll be putting those up in a different area, much like the area that we grow the blueberries in, because they need to be protected from the hot summer sun. Those come in when all of the stone fruits come in. So you put all those berries together with some of those stone fruits, and I'm telling you, it's gratifying on many levels. So good. And with all these trees, it took some planning. We had to make sure that we knew what the maximum size of each tree would be, and we needed to provide enough room between the trees so that we wouldn't have them intertwining with each other. We do want them fairly close because we don't have a large lot, but we did strategically plant each tree so that they would have plenty of room to grow and that we would have room to walk between them when we're taking care of them. Another consideration that you need to make when you're planting fruit trees is to do homework about your area. Find the trees that will do the best performance in your area and that will survive for a long time. If you have trees that have predicted life cycles, a good example would be like our bear's lime. The way that they grow, they have a certain amount of life to them where they'll fruit, and then they start to wind down a little bit. So about every 6 or 7 years, we plant a new bear's lime somewhere different than where the current tree is. And that way we can make sure that we have a constant supply of that fruit. We love limes. I like to can with it to make blueberry lime jam. I like to make concentrate with it. I love the zest and so many different things. And we absolutely love Mexican food, and there's nothing like fresh lime juice with some cilantro on just about anything that we cook. Having limes on our property is essential. You need to think about feeding your trees. You can give them water, and you need to know how much water, but you also need to give them food so that they have all the nutrients that your soil may not provide. So make sure that you understand how often they need to be fed, how much they need to be fed, where they need to be fed, meaning, do you go around the drip line or do you stay closer to the trunk? We, generally speaking, go around the drip line, and I think that's the rule of thumb, but there's always an exception. So make sure you know the needs of each tree. It's also helpful to have a spreadsheet so that you can kind of take a look at when things are due, put them on your calendar, put them on your phone calendar. Now we have all these things now at our disposal. So use those to your advantage. Put a little note. You're going to need to feed your fruit trees next week, in a week or something. Know what food you're going to need. Make sure that you keep it in a place where it's not going to degrade, like a super hot shed, or outside where the rain and the water can get to it, or the heat can break a bag down. It will be no good to you if your tree food or your plant food is not in good shape and at its freshest as well. We talked about the watering schedules and the weather. Make sure that you know what temperature and how long any citrus trees or trees that are sensitive to frost, how long can they last in that environment. If it freezes for maybe an hour in the middle of the night and it's not going to be below a certain temperature, our gauge is when they call for 34 in our general area, we know that we run a little cooler. So when we hear 34 as a low on the news, we get those tarps out and we make sure that those trees are protected, and frost-sensitive plants for that matter. Make sure that you have appropriate tarps or shade cloth for your trees. Our citrus trees need to be protected in the winter sometimes, and our fruit trees, such as the apples, more so the stone fruit because they're young trees, they need to be protected from the harshest weather in the summertime. JJ actually paints the trunks with a special material. I will link that in the bottom and show you what it is, but he paints the trunks of our trees white, and it not only protects them from getting sun scald in the summertime, but they can also be damaged in the winter when they don't have all their foliage, and the winter sun can actually damage your tree trunks. So keep things like that in mind as well. I love the Sunset Western. We live in the West, so we have a Western garden guide that's extremely helpful. But you can also go to your local extension office, your local universities, and you are able to get more information about the trees and the weather in your area. As far as resources go, I also believe in and recommend getting the Farmer's Almanac every year and take a look at it. It may not be exact for exactly where you live, but it could give you a pretty good general idea, and then you can take from that and go online to other resources and see, you find information that will help you as you're growing your food. Okay, I think I've covered everything here as far as the fruit trees go. Plan your spacing, plan your feeding, plan your watering, plan your protection for the trees, and they will give you years. I mean, I've had my Pink Lady apple for over 20 years. We've had our Meyer lemon tree for 18 years. We've had our pomegranate tree for over 20 years. And they continue to give us plenty of food. And it is, again, it's healthier for you to have your own food. In cases of shortages that come along, it's a good way to ensure that you're still going to get that fruit if there was a disruption in transportation for food, or if there was a problem, any kind of other problem in the supply chain. And again, being able to just walk outside in your yard and be able to pick your own food, harvest your own fruit and or vegetables is wonderful. Another thing that I really enjoy about the trees is that they bring in beneficial insects and hummingbirds. So we see bees and we see ladybugs, and we have an abundance of butterflies that go around. And just watching nature through the cycles of the trees as they get their first buds and then they flower, and a lot of them have the most beautiful, gentle scent in the world. It's just nature's perfume. And you can also go out and, watch them as the buds drop off and the fruit starts. It's very, very neat to see how food grows from a flower to actual fruit that you're going to harvest. And that in itself kind of puts you in a great place in a mindful sort of way, and it connects you to the earth. And all of that will help you prepare yourself mentally for anything that could be stressful. There's a lot to be said for gardening. It keeps you moving, it keeps you stretching, and the benefit is the food that you're going to gather from that garden and or from your little orchard. I hope that you've enjoyed hearing about different ways to increase your preparedness for food supply today. I hope it's helpful for you. Look at what grows in your area. Look into doing it. I wish it was colder here because I'd like to have a reliable cherry tree. We're still thinking about it, but I have a feeling that we'll have to just rely on our neighbors that live up north, quite a bit up north, to get cherries. But anyway, thank you all so much. Be sure to watch every channel. Please subscribe to everybody. Leave a thoughtful, kind comment. Drop your own suggestions in there if you wish. And we'll see you on October 1st on Big Valley Living for the grand prize drawing. You'll see me a few more times. So I'll see you later, everybody. Be kind.